exchange. Once again, the referee says, hey, one at a time, guys. One of you make the tag and get out of here. This is a rugged tag team. They have been ever since the first day we saw them come into the USWA. Drop kick. Big forearm. And now, not really a side kick, almost a back kick. Had the same effect. He slammed him back into the turnbuckle with it. Now he's got him up on the shoulder. That fireman's carry makes the tag. Oh, boy. Look out. Up on the top rope. My goodness. Oh, it's over. Count of three. There's no doubt about it. Man, once these eliminators get going, there's not much stopping them. Now look at this. Boy, I hate to see this. They grab the youngsters and throw one of them out of the ring. Edric Hines and Corey Williams have had a pretty tough day. Oh, well, now do it to both of them. Let both of them feel. Oh, man.
Moonsault off that top, and Saturn pounds down on top of him, and they come out a very definite and impressive but excessive victory in this match. Woo, David.
The moonsault wraps it up. We got lots more to go, and we'll be back with it right after this.
Champion Sid Vicious coming out here for a match, and we've got a lot of it. We want to remind you that today we have that return match. PG-13, Buddy Landell and Tommy Rich coming up a little later on. There he is. What a specimen this guy is. Woo.
Sid Vicious. He's upset about something. He's upset most of the time.
Complaining about the crowd. You know, oh, they don't have the respect. They don't appreciate their champion. I can't imagine why.
I can't either. Titles are won. Respect is earned. Maybe it hasn't been earned, huh? Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Wait, did you hear that? They're just telling us from upstairs that Charlie Laird, who is scheduled as Sid Vicious's opponent, has left the building. They don't have an opponent for you, Sid. He's left the building.
Left the building.
Do you find that strange, Les Russell? Do you find that just a little strange? Why I don't? But see, I came to the USWA. I come to the USWA for one reason and one reason only. And that's to wrestle, to become the world champion and keep conquering. Well, see, I have conquered the USWA, and today is the proving point of that. That there's not one man in this country, not one man in this organization has got the guts to face me.
One guy happened to walk out on it. I don't know.
That coward that walked out of here today, that didn't sit well with me, and there's going to be something done about it.
Okay, well, Sid, there's nothing we can do about it. We're going to have to move up the next bout.
Yeah, that's what the producers telling us. They want to move up the next match. We're going to have a match for you here, even though Sid's opponent didn't show up. That's going to be the Phantoms with Fantasia. I don't think you've seen them yet.
No, I have not had the opportunity to see them, so we're looking forward to it. All-American, Doug Basham, Tony Williams coming out. This ought to be a goodie. I'll be interested in seeing the Phantoms in action in there.
I'm glad to see Doug Basham. Doug went against Sid Vicious last week. He didn't leave. He was right here. I admire the young man. He lost the match, but boy, he gave it all he had before losing to Sid Vicious last week. There they are. Fantasia climbing into the ring. She has the long stem red rose in her hand, and the Phantoms.
Let's go to Corey for the introduction.
Okay, lads, one fall, 10 minutes in time for tag team action here on the USWA. First introducing at a combined weight of 417 pounds from Cordova, Tennessee, Tony Williams, and his partner from Louisville, Kentucky, the All-American Doug Basham. Their opponents, at a combined weight 464 pounds, led to the ring by Fantasia. Here are Sorrow and Tragedy. The Phantoms. 1 fall, 10-minute time limit. Kevin Christian is referee. Back to the last indeed.
Sorrow and Tragedy.
Sorrow and Tragedy. I'm not sure which is which.
That's Tragedy, gotta be starting out. Bell time, and here we go. Doug Basham starting out the action, going against Tragedy. Reversal from the pair as they turn it overward. Doug Basham goes down, looking to pick up out of there.
Yeah, almost a head
with an arm bar, but Tragedy working him back into the corner, shooting that right hand into the midsection.
Using the right fist at will. Look at Basham. He lets him go by. Out of the corner. He flips him back to the center of the ring. Sets. Takes him down. Great move by the All-American. He ends up with the advantage. Not for long, though, as the Phantom able to get back to his feet. Heads to the corner and the tag on Sorrow.
And with that arm, he drags him over and down. Basham being checked out by the referee to be certain there's no pull on that mask. Tony Williams takes the tag from Basham, and Tony pushed into the corner, head hammered down on that top turnbuckle. Whip across the ring, a miss by Sorrow. Grabbed by Williams, takes him over and down with the arm. Reaching for the hair, shovels Williams across the ring, and as he came into the rope, big foot right in the lower back. Tag goes back to Tragedy, and he starts to kick away on Tony Williams.
He set it up from outside with that foot to the lower back, and now trying to finish off Tony Williams. They've got him over in their corner. Bad place to be. They double up, flinging him back into the turnbuckle again. He hits that middle turnbuckle on the small of the back. Sorrow snaps him down. They don't let up. They go right after him. He's up in the air again. Once again, Tony Williams jumped onto the mat. The Phantoms make a tag. Both of them in there. Sorrow and Tragedy. Now Sorrow leaves. Tragedy stays, and he picks up Tony by the hair.
Tough little athlete as Tony Williams is, and he has taken some punishment, still trying to fight his way into position. What is this? Fantasia grabbing him from the outside, slaps him upside the head, scratches him right back in. Comes the team of the Phantoms. And Tony Williams again caught by Tragedy as he is turned over. Pile driver while Fantasia has referee Kevin Christian his attention, and a leg drop down on him. Count. 1, 2, 3. Williams never had a chance.
Well, they were able to get Tony in there and keep him in there for a long period of time. They went to work on him with a double team. Even Fantasia got into the action. Now she just throws the rose across the chest of Tony Williams as the referee attends to it. So there's your look at the team of the Phantoms. This is our second look at them here on USWA television. And
let me tell you something, PG-13. You slipped through our trapdoor last week. Now, the stage is set, and when my Phantoms get you in the ring this week, they will be the next USWA Tag Team Champions, and the roles will fall, and there will be no curtain call.
Okay, we're going to take time out and leave Fantasia's words ringing in your ear, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Okay, back and ready to go with more action here on USWA Wrestling. First introducing at 210 pounds, here is Eddie Given. His opponent, 238 pounds, from Lexington, Tennessee. Hey, look out!
he was about to introduce Doug Gilbert. That's Sid Vicious, who just hit the ring right here.
Gilbert's supposed to be the one that's in there, Vicious, whose opponent walked out on him early in the match, or not in the match, before he ever started. And, Eddie Gibbons jumped onto the table as Vicious coming around behind. He was very upset when somebody walked out of the way out on him, and he never did have a chance to have a match. So he jumped, oh man, he's racing poor Eddie Gibbons down here on the table. And again, he lashes him with that belt.
Yeah, that's a statement.
There's not one person in this building that's got a backbone. There's not one person in this building that's got any guts. And if you do, I'm begging you to come out right now and face me.
What do you expect somebody to do when you come out here and take a belt like that and thrash him and beat him?
You and the rest of these idiots around here, you is why Mr. Gibbons had to take this punishment. See, everybody should have done like the first guy. They should have just left. They should have left when they had the chance. Because if you face Sid Vicious, there's only one outcome. And the outcome, my friend, is fatal.
Yeah, fatal, and it's not because they're afraid to wrestle. It's what you do.
There's no one back there with 1 ounce of guts. Nobody.
Yeah, you just keep throwing out the challenge out there, and somebody's going to walk your way one of these days. They'll give you a word. Here come the Eliminators out here. They've already had a match out here today.
I don't believe this. I don't believe my damn eyes. Can't expect this out of you guys. But see, now you've answered the challenge, my two fat, stupid friends. Now I'm going to take you in the ring because I can beat both of you. I am going to take you in the ring, my friends, and I'm going to take your guts out. Now come on.
Sid Vicious challenging. And he said, both of you hop in there. I'll take both of you. It's Saturn and Protus with the Spellbinder coming out from behind. Vicious with the Spellbinder coming to his aid. Saturn dropped down on the table. The Eliminators, a couple of genuinely tough son of a gun, came out and answered the challenge of Sid Vicious. Sid said, I'll take you both. They started to the ring. Here comes the Spellbinders in behind the Eliminators, and Vicious slashing Saturn with that belt. Now the Spellbinder and Sid in the ring with the Eliminators. They softened them up, pounded away on them outside, and you see them in the ring right now. Referee Kevin Stretchin with no prayer of being able to get things under control. Vicious missing a leg drop on Saturn.
He missed it. Saturn got him just barely, but enough to get Sid Vicious off balance. He's out of the ring. The Eliminators with the Spellbinder. They slam him right in the middle of the ring. Where's Sid Vicious? He's stalking around down on the floor. There he goes. You saw him go by. He's calling for the Spellbinder. The Eliminators have run him out of the ring. Now they're saying, come on down here on the floor. Oh, they're much more comfortable down here on the floor where they can throw him on a table and hit him with a belt. They don't want to climb in the ring with him, though, huh?
What a turn of events to see the Eliminators come out, Dave, like that. And answer the challenge of Vicious standing out here saying, nobody in this building's got the guts to come out and face me. Well, he found two guys who came out and answered it. Said he would take them both.
Will you at least expect it? Expect it, you two goofs.
Sid
action.
Screaming at the Eliminators, who felt like they had to answer the call when Vicious challenged.
Vicious! You think you're gonna kick in my guts? Well, you're gonna have to, because we're not running from you. I can tell you, my old man hit me one time with a belt. One time!
Talking about the whipping that he took from Vicious, we're going to take time out, come back for more of the unexpected.
Well, we got big action coming up at the Mid-South Coliseum and big news.
Boy,
for
I
folks
tell you,
with-
I love this kind of news. You know me, my old Scotch blood in there. I love it.
Well, the USWA is trying to make it easier for families to come down there, and, you know, with the kids and all of that. How about special kids' prices for children under 12?
And it is not just for general admission. It is at any range of ticket in there, $2 off for any of the kids 12 and under, so that they'll have the opportunity to come in there at a much reduced price. And as you point out, here come the Eliminators.
Yeah,
Let's
find out what's going on with these guys.
You got him, Mike.
Hey, Stick Vicious! You issued a challenge! We didn't finish it! We want you today, tomorrow, anywhere! Any mileage, book us in a match against him and the other group, the street mine from New York, they ain't got a job no more, gonna jump people from behind! Yes!
Eliminators, Eddie.
Russell, I heard Sid Vicious when he issued the challenge. These guys accepted the challenge, so add the match. These two guys against Vicious and Spellbinder.
Vicious and Spellbinder from Monday night.
Against the Eliminators.
Oh, I love it. All right. That gives them an opportunity to get back, and I'm sure Saturn in particular is going to be a guy who really is going to be looking forward to it after the whipping that Vicious gave him with that belt. So Dave will have to put that on the card somewhere. I'll pick it up from you in just a minute.
Okay.
But what we were talking about was one piece of big news, and that is $2 off for any of the kids 12 and under on any of the ticket prices. That's whether it's general admission or ringside or wherever. And Dave, you made a very good point. I mean, it's not easy. Mom and Dad take 3 kids down and it starts mounting up. Here's an opportunity where they're going to be able to save $2 a ticket for the kids to come on down to the Coliseum and enjoy. And if they got good reason, in addition to the $2 off,
They
come down and
certainly do, especially after the addition of that match right there by Eddie Marlin. I'm glad to see it. The Eliminators, who would have thought this some time ago, a couple of weeks ago, the Eliminators are going to be going against Sid Vicious and the Spellbinder. I don't know exactly where that's going to fall on the card, but the match has been added, and it will occur Monday night at the Coliseum. Here are the schedule matches. Now, the Eliminators had been scheduled to wrestle in single matches. I'm assuming that they still will, since Eddie has just said this is an added match.
Added.
All right, Eliminator Cronus, then, will be going against Doug Basham, and Eliminator Saturn will be going against Tony Williams in a single match. Then, you got Spellbinder also scheduled in a single match against Jeff Gaylord.
You bet. Gaylord still got some things to do with him. USWA tag title match, and that's going to have PG-13 with their titles up against $1,000. The Phantoms came out here. Fantasia was saying, PG-13, look out, we're coming. Yeah, well, bring your thou, because you got to put it up against those USWA tag title belts.
And then the losing team has to split up. That's right. This does not leave the USWA, but they can't wrestle in the USWA as a team if they lose. The Moondogs, and if they split up, I think that'll effectively eliminate them because they wrestle as a team. Moondogs against Rich and Landell. Scott Bowden scheduled to be in their corner. This is a tag team that has just run wild in the area. Of course, the Moondogs have always been a wild bunch, but again, whoever loses the match, you can't wrestle in this area as a tag team anymore, and the street fight rules are going to be in effect. You know it's going to be a wild one at the Coliseum.
Oh, yeah, and I can tell you, as you pointed out, it'll hurt either one of those because they have both been very effective tag teams. And then, looking ahead, this is one that had to come down to it. Last chance for a unified world title match for Jerry the King Lawler against Sid Vicious. Jerry always tough, always with that threat to win that title, and then you add the stipulation chance, and that is really going to get his attention.
It's going to be an incentive, no doubt. It's a double main event at the Mid-South Coliseum Monday night. You'll want to see this one. Brian Christopher going against Doug Gilbert. Brian had to unmask the masked Patriot and reveal that it was, in fact, what we knew all along, Doug Gilbert. And now it is going to be hair versus hair. No time limit, no disqualification. There's going to be a haircutting at the Mid-South Coliseum. Either Brian Christopher's hair or Doug Gilbert's hair will fall.
With those rules, no time, no disqualification. There's none of this stuff where there's not going to be some haircut. One of them is going to walk out of that ring with it off. Whether that is going to be just, and then put the ad in Matt Eliminator and Sid and Spellbinder. What a night that is going to be at the Coliseum.
Got to be a big one. Hey, we got a little videotape highlight of Brian Christopher getting the mask off of Doug Gilbert. Take a look.
Leapfrog by the Dark Patriot. Leaped over and caught referee Kevin Christian, but he turned around to a big super kick from Christopher. Woo! Hey, look out! Scott Bowden gets it over that crowd. Christopher! Here's the footsteps of Scott Bowden. Catches him from behind. While Bowden tossed the chain over to the Dark Patriot. Patriot! Cold cocks Christopher. He sent him down. Covers 2, 3. Well, it's getting that Irene. That's it. Now the Dark Patriot gets the win. 13 minutes and 1 second. Dark Patriot defeats Brian Christopher in 13:01. Fans are telling referee that Kevin Christian, they're telling the ref that Dark Patriot used the chain in there. Oh, yeah, Dark Patriot crosses hard. Hope that I better not cross it too good. He may be setting up his funeral, let me tell you, because we all saw him with a chain. And now he pulls it out. Pulls the chain out. Hey, the referee sees it. He sees the chain. He reverses it. Brian Christopher is going to be the winner in 13:01. It's reversed. Christopher going for the man of the Dark Patriot. He took it off. And it is Doug Gilbert.
No doubt about it. And out here right now with a hairbrush, which he may not need except for a couple of more days, is Doug Gilbert.
Dave Brown, let me tell you one thing. Someone in the back said, Doug, this morning you seem kind of humble. You seem kind of unsure of yourself. Well, let me tell you one thing, Dave Brown. You've got old Eddie Marlowe's senile fool. You've got Randy Hales. He's a fool, too. Then you've got Lance Russell, old dinosaur over here, who loves Brian Christopher just like you do, Dave Brown, right? When the odds are all stacked against you, you got to dig down. You got to dig down that intestinal fortitude. And that is something that Brian Christopher knows nothing about. See Eddie Marlowe come out here and he said, Doug Gilbert, when we find out if the Dark Patriot, if that's you, you're going to have the next 5 matches, you're going to have to put your hair on the line. He said, if I can quote Eddie Marlin, he said, in 5 matches, one of them Doug Gilbert's got to lose. But let me tell you something, Eddie Marlin. You're a no-good rat, just like Brian Christopher, just like Eddie Marlin. And there's one thing, Lance Russell, that you have said that's the truth the first time in about 5 years. There is some hair gonna fall this Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. And by God, it will not be mine. It will be Brian Christopher. See what it is. Eddie Marlin's got this USWA here, what he's so proud of. The USWA, compared to every other wrestling organization, is like a Crystal takeout restaurant compared to a first-class steakhouse. So, Brian Christopher, all these idiots right over here, they must not remember. A little over a year ago, I carried you on my back. I carried you up the road. I carried you down the road. But it's come to this, Brian Christopher. I've heard some people calling it the war. Hair versus hair. Brian Christopher, I hate your stinking guts. And over my dead body, I don't think you can put these 52-inch shoulders to that mat for a count of 3. And let me go ahead and tell you something, Eddie Marlin. You better call an ambulance to that Mid-South Coliseum this Monday night. Because you will have to kill me before you shave my head. Say, Brown, you don't get beautiful women in every town you go by walking around all bald-headed. You get them by looking like the sickest man, the toughest man, and the best man in the world, like myself. Brian Christopher, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I hate your stinking guts, and my goal in this life, my life, is to shave your head bald and run the great citizen of all these idiots right out of wrestling.
Well, we'll find out Monday night. Some hair's going to fall. It may be yours. We'll be back in just a moment.
Thinking about people have loved feuds in a kind of vicarious way ever since the Hatfields and McCoys.
Right.
And back before that, you and I have sat here and watched in championship wrestling things like Billy Wicks and Sputnik Monroe. What a feud that son of a gun was. And probably a feud that I have more people mention to me than any other that we hear about all the time, and that's Jerry Lawler and Bill Dundee.
That's true.
Whoa, did we see some classic matches right there.
Yep.
This, and I said this about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and people said, well, you know, are you stretching a little bit to compare these guys? And I say no. Brian Christopher, Doug Gilbert, brother, they have had it up one side and down the other, and great feuds. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that went into making up this feud between Gilbert and Christopher. Here it is.
Right there, they ever hit for facial wrestling, Tommy Wildfire Rich. He put George on the mat. Look at Dirty Doug Gilbert, my brother. Look, that's right. Put him out of his misery.
We've seen Tommy Rich hide under ring.
That's right. Knock him down. Knock him down on the first day.
I think this is Brian.
And Christopher being dragged by that rope. They're hanging him over here on...
Dog spot, and boom! The big board busted over the head of the Dream Machine.
Holding down the Dream Machine, and who is this?
Scott Bowden jumps Brian Christopher from behind. He handed something to Doug Gilbert on his way out. Oh, look out, he's got a bottle.
He slammed him right straight in the head. Get some of it. Now it's gone too far.
Christopher! With a bottle! Doug Gilbert sets him up. All drives Christopher. Here comes Tommy Rich. Oh, jumping on Brian Christopher. Right on the table. A big pile dollar. Oh, no.
Would have just been open to see that boy didn't have any hair. Brian Christopher, I'm sure, let me set my USWA belt down. I'm sure everybody here knows what these are. That's called scissors that cut hair. Brian Christopher, you're gutless. You won't...
Why don't you save it for the ring?
Hairstyling by Doug Gilbert. How about that, last Russell?
Yeah, fine, great. I hope that makes you feel really big. Can we get some help out here to get this guy good night? Oh, here comes Buddy Landell, Brian Christopher.
Doug Gilbert, you're not going to get away with it. The next 5 matches that you have, regardless of who they're with, whether it's a single match or tag match, your hair will be at stake. If you get pinned, your head will be shaved in the middle of the ring.
I think you're scared to death of me is what I think. You want to stand out here and talk like a man? Why don't you stand up like a man?
Come on. Doug. Okay, Doug. All right, here comes the Moondog.
Now, Doug Gilbert, you made your bed, now you lay in it. You are fined, you are suspended, you are out of here, you're no longer with the USWA.
Maybe that'll get his attention.
Oh, here he goes. Gus Bowden hammered down on the floor. Oh, coming out from behind the Dark Patriot. Jumps Brian Christopher. Pounds on it, kicking at that knee. The first thing he goes for is the knee.
Yes, he's a hired assassin, a masked assassin, and he's going to get the job done on Brian Christopher. You better believe that.
Wonder if I could just get a word from the Dark Patriot here. Maybe
Dave Brown, no one...
that's Doug Gilbert. That's who that is. It sure is. It's Doug Gilbert. There's absolutely no doubt about it. No doubt about it. He has been suspended. He's not supposed to even be here.
Scott Bowden with a pair of scissors. Oh, come on, Scott. Oh, boy. Hands the scissors over to the Dark Patriot. Frank Morrell's trying to stop him. And the Dark Patriot nails the referee. He'll be fined for that, I guarantee you. Christopher gets the loose. He got the mask off.
Boy, I got to tell you what, that is some wild footage. Brian Christopher, Doug Gilbert, and I mean double on involved in what is an ongoing feud that has the every attention of every wrestling fan in the area. Here comes, much too sexy, Mr. Brian Christopher. I know if you had a chance to look back on some of that, it kind of brought some memories back to you. We were talking about what a feud. There's just something that doesn't mesh. You guys just don't like each other.
Not only did I have to sit and watch all that, Lance, but I lived each and every minute of it. And you said just a few short minutes ago that this is a war. Well, it's more than a war. This has been going on for 11 straight months. And it started right in that wrestling ring, sitting right there. That's where Doug Gilbert came and jumped me from behind. And for 11 months now, and I see here comes this man.
What are you doing out here?
Exactly right. I was back in the back, getting sick to my stomach, seeing Brian Christopher come out here. Yeah, you're real big when it comes to taking care of somebody like me. You're real big getting in there with somebody that never even claimed to be a wrestler. I never claimed to be an athlete. But when you get in there with Doug Gilbert, it's always a different story, isn't it, Brian Christopher? Isn't it, Brian Christopher?
You haven't seen him back up yet, have you?
I hadn't backed up from him, and I'm sure not going to back up from you, Scott Bowden. You know good and well this is my interview time. You're not supposed to be out here, so I guess I'm going to have to make you leave, aren't I?
From behind, Doug Gilbert nailing Christopher. Oh, and look who's out here. Tommy Rich with a pair of scissors, Dave. Going after the hair. Can you believe it? Yes, I can believe these kind of guys. Why don't you guys get out of here?
Hair Sally by Doug Gilbert, baby.
Here comes the king going after Bowden. Gilbert, Rich, all move out of here. Jumping. Bowden comes out here as the decoy man. And we're going to take time out here, and we'll be back in just a moment. Whoa, do we have it here on USWA Championship Wrestling every day, every way. We've had it all in here. Sid Bishop beating up on the folks. Brian Christopher out here for a decent interview talking about the feud with Gilbert and gets jumped.
Let me just take a few short minutes of your time, Lance Russell. Doug Gilbert, I was handing it to here. I'm sick and I'm tired of hearing your name, boy. You know, all I had to do for weeks, I tried to pull that mask off the Dark Patriot to prove that it was Doug Gilbert under the mask, and then he was going to be forced into putting his hair at stake. Well, I pulled the mask off. He was supposed to put his hair at stake. But then I get a phone call. I get a phone call from Eddie Moreland. I get one from Randy Hales. He went out and got him an attorney. His attorney said he don't have to put his hair up. It's not legal for him to have to put his hair up. But then he said he would put his hair at stake if and only if I would put my hair at stake. Well, boy, it didn't take long for me to give an answer. I said, heck, yeah, I'd put my hair at stake. And that's what I'm going to do, Gilbert. I'll put my hair at stake. I'll put each and every one of these hairs on my head at stake. You can shave them off. You don't have to come out here and jump me from behind and try to cut them off with a pair of scissors. You can do it right in the middle of the Mid-South Coliseum in front of everybody. If you can beat me. But I don't think you can. I know you can't beat me. That's why I am going to be the one to shave you bald this Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum, Gilbert. This war's been going on for far too long. It's time for it to come to an end. Once and for all, I want to see you bald-headed. And believe me, Gilbert, all the times you've jumped me, everything you've ever done to me, get ready, because I'm going to have my bag of tricks loaded this Monday night. I am not going to leave the Coliseum until you are bald-headed, Gilbert. Each and every hair, you're going to be bald before I leave the Coliseum.
No time, no disqualification. It's going to happen to somebody, Gilbert or Brian Christopher. Okay, time to find out what's happening around the territory. Out of town, Corey Macklin.
Thank you, Lance Russell, boy. Hey, USWA is hot. Monday night, can't wait to see Christopher and Gilbert, hair versus hair. Let's take a look at out of town. USWA Wrestling, Marktree, Arkansas. It is tonight. USWA out of town tonight. Marktree, Arkansas. The King, Jerry Lawler, will be in Marktree tonight. Brian Christopher is going to be there also. You'll see Sid Vicious, the unified world champion. He's going to be over in Marktree. Also, Colorado Kid on the card. The Moondogs, Rex and Spot is all at the high school tonight, 7:30 bell time. Marktree, Arkansas. The King, Brian Christopher, world champion Sid Vicious, Moondogs, all in Marktree, Arkansas tonight. Wrestling coming up Friday night, October 7th. Biggers, Arkansas, 7:30 bell time in Biggers there at the high school. Tickets are on sale now at the high school. USWA Top Stars will be in Biggers, Arkansas, October 7th on a Friday night, 7:30 is bell time. You can pick up your tickets right now to be there for USWA Wrestling coming up in Biggers, Arkansas. That's USWA Wrestling out of town on tour. Jonesboro, Arkansas, another day that's set being lined up for October for all of our great fans in Jonesboro. And also, quick mention here, the next week, next Saturday, you can join me along with the King, Jerry Lawler, out at Custom Home Furniture out in Fraser. A lot of great fans out in the Fraser area. We'll be out there with some free wrestling tickets and a lot of big prizes there at Custom Home Furniture in Fraser. More action coming up here. Moondogs, Rex and Spot still to come when we return first. Let's go to Lance.
Yeah, and I know you're going to have on the hottest pair of socks I ever saw when you get out there. Hey, here comes the King. Back out here with Brian Christopher. I was going to remind you that it's $2 off for all of the kids 12 and under in any ticket range. And yes, sir, you saw it. You saved it.
Well, you know, this is a match, and listening to Brian and listening to Doug Gilbert talk about this match, I think it's hard for the people sitting out there watching at home, and it's hard for the people sitting over here listening about, to really relate to what is at stake in this match. I mean, you hear guys talking about getting their heads shaved, and sometimes you just think, well, that's not that big a deal. But I can tell you from personal experience,
yes,
because that was, you know, Lance, how many years I said that I would never put my hair at stake. Now, I went back on my word one time too many, and I found out at the hands of Austin Idol and Tommy Rich
exactly what it was like to have your head shaved, and believe me, it is no fun. I can tell you that every morning when you wake up and realize, when you reach up there and feel where your hair used to be, and then you have to go into the bathroom and you get ready to shave your face, and then you look in that mirror and you see how stupid you look with no hair on your head, and you have to also realize, Lance, what you have to realize every time you look in the mirror and realize that you're bald-headed is, you have to realize that you're a loser, that you lost that match, the most important match of your entire career, and you lost your hair. And I can tell you this, nobody wants to have to go through that, because hair don't grow back overnight. They can talk about these hair elixirs that as a matter of fact, I remember Doug Gilbert one time had to come out with some Granny Gilbert hair elixir. Well, Doug Gilbert, you may have to go back to the medicine cabinet, because I know what this man is capable of, but what I've just been in the back instructing him is that when it comes to a match like this, you can't take anything for granted, because we all know that Doug Gilbert will stoop to anything to save his hair. And we all know that Tommy Rich is in the area. We all know that Buddy Landell is in the area. We all know that Sid Vicious and Scott Bowden are in the area. And let me tell you somebody else that's in the area that has been away. He's been wrestling in Puerto Rico for the last 3 or 4 months. But I understand, you get to hear the little things through the grapevine. I understand that just arriving back in the United States yesterday, as a matter of fact, is Doug's brother, Eddie Gilbert. So, Brian, what I've instructed him is there's really no way to have a safe match. At first, he was going to ask Eddie Marlin for a cage match to keep everybody else out. And then I had to remind Brian that it was a cage match that I was in, that Tommy Rich, no telling what time he got to the Coliseum, but he was up under the ring, and when the cage match started, he came out, and I wound up losing my hair. So what I've done with Brian Christopher in this match for Monday night at the Coliseum is I've offered my services to be at ringside and just maybe sort of keep an eye on the back door. I won't even have to watch the match, because, you see, I think that Brian Christopher is capable of handling Doug Gilbert. I just want to watch the back door and make sure there's no outside interference. I'm volunteering my service.
Boy, that sounds like good suggestion to me, Brian.
He volunteered, and I accepted with a big smile on my face. Gilbert, you've had Tommy Rich, Buddy Landell, Scott Bowden, anybody you can find. But this is the only man I need to watch my back. So now the odds are even, Gilbert. It's just down to me and you, one-on-one, in the ring. We both step in with full heads of hair, but only one of us is going to leave with it. I'm leaving with my hair. You're leaving bald-headed.
There you go, and I love the suggestion, Jerry, particularly with no disqualification. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen, Lance. It's going to be something to see, and like he said, somebody is going to leave there with no hair on their head. I wouldn't want it to be me. I don't think he wants it to be him. And Doug Gilbert, I think there's going to be a lot of people that want to see you minus your hair. We're going to get a little early start on tonight in Mark Tree, one of my favorite towns. We're going to see everybody over in Mark Tree tonight.
We got to take a break right now, guys. Single bout today on USWA Wrestling. 205 pounds, parts unknown, the Shadow. His opponent from the swamps in Louisiana, Moondog Rex.
Yeah, look out, Corey. Moondog Rex hits the ring. He got some kind of pole with him, and he breaks over the back of the Shadow. When one of the Moondogs arrives, look out.
I didn't know Corey could move that fast, man. He got out of there, and I don't blame him. Shadow slammed down right smack in the middle of the ring. Big headbutt, and down he goes again. He's got not only the size advantage, but when you got a mentality that the pain doesn't seem to bother you, that gives you a great leg up against anybody.
It sure does. Man, what a splash. He's got a cover. Count of 1, 2, 3. This one's over. Well, I didn't even get to mention the fact that Eddie Marlin had made the stipulation that Landell and Rich couldn't interfere. They were suspended. Moondog Rex didn't give him time to interfere.
That's one way to keep them from interfering. We're going to take time out. We've got more. Big main event coming up in a moment. Look, Dave, at Jerry Lawler, Sid Vicious in that ring.
Oh, yeah, the strap comes down. Jerry Lawler. Swing it away on Sid Vicious. Big right hand from the King. Boy, both of these guys have been going at it their all. Look at Lawler. Picks up Big Vicious. Chops him down. Setting him up now. Suplex on Sid Vicious. And look at the King. He's pumped up for this unified world title out. Lawler wanting to regain his title here tonight in the USWA. Climbs the top rope, comes down, and Vicious waits right on him, nails him in the midsection. Lawler's been over. Could be bad news for Jerry. Vicious puts that power bomb on Lawler. 1, 2, 3. That's all she wrote.
Well, of course, here's the man who holds it, the Unified World Champion, Sid Vicious.
Lance Russell, I want what you just looked at right there, and all you fools sitting there, and all you fat fools sitting at home. I want you to keep that thought, keep the picture in your mind you just saw for just 1 second. I want to hit on something real quick before I go into the spiel about Lawler. See, you two stupid idiots. I talk about you two eliminators. See, you made a big mistake today. You came out here and you tried to make a fool out of me. See, you come out here and you wanted to take the challenge of Sid Vicious. Well, see, you found out one thing real quick. It's not that easy. If you take the challenge, you just might get strapped over this thing and strapped for 1 inch of your life. Now, eliminators, Monday night or wherever, I will deal with you fools at that point. Now back to what I asked you to think about. What I want to keep in you people's mind is this. Did you see the TV screen? Did you see what happened to Lawler? He took the power bomb. He could not answer from that. You know, Lance Russell, I sit there at night, and it's not too often I ever feel sorry for anybody. But as I'm standing in the ring, I'm looking over, and I look at Lawler, and I look in his eyes. See, I looked in his eyes, and something that told me right then, see, he's got to want to, because it has been driven in his soul over the years. But the other thing I saw, Lawler, in your eyes was the look of a beaten man. Now, Lawler, Monday night...
A special report from NBC.
Big, huh? Yeah, I was just going to say, big night coming up Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum. Special prices for kids under 12, $2 off tickets in all sections for kids under 12. Here's the King.
You know, I know we just got a real short time left, and I understand Sid Vicious's interview was cut off right in the middle, but I heard enough of it to realize that, Sid, you don't have to feel sorry for me. Thanks, but I don't need your sympathy, okay? A lot of people didn't think that the Kansas City Chiefs would beat the 49ers last week, but it happened. A lot of people don't think that I can beat you, and you're one of them, Sid, but believe me, it can happen. And Monday night, if it's my last shot, I know how important that is. So believe me, come on down there, Sid. Strap it on, because that's what I'm going to do, and that's why they have matches, to see who's going to win.
There you go. The King, last chance as he gets a shot at Sid Vicious for the title Monday night at the Mid-South Coliseum, one of two main events. The other one's a big one, too.
Man, I guess hair versus hair. Doug Gilbert, Brian Christopher facing each other. Get this, no time, no disqualification. Let me tell you, neighbor, in case you hadn't seen it before, that means somebody's hair is going down. You'll have the opportunity to see it. Join us down there Monday night, Mid-South Coliseum. We got to get out of here.
Yes, we do. Be sure to join us next week. We'll be right back.
Yes, sir. For Corey Macklin, Dave Brown, this is Lance Russell saying bye-bye, everybody.
The announcers on this program are selected and paid by parties other than this station, namely the promoters of USWA Championship Wrestling.
And then fate stepped in. The telephone rang. There's a long-distance phone call from Tallahassee, Florida. It's my Uncle Bobby. That's right, Bobby Bowden, coach of the national champion football Seminoles. That's exactly right. For those of you that don't know, of course, I'm sure people in this area probably don't even follow college football because you got teams out here like Memphis State. Oh, excuse me, the University of Memphis, Tiger High, whatever you want to call it.
Hey, come on.
They couldn't beat my high school alma mater, the Germantown Red Devils, in a football game, let alone a college team. And another redneck team, the Tennessee Volunteers, got beat last week by the number 2 team in Florida, the University of Florida Gators. And brother, Uncle Bobby said, Scotty boy, that's what he likes to call me, Scotty boy. He said, I understand you're having a little trouble there in Memphis, but I want you to come down to Tallahassee and give an inspirational talk to my players. And I was so touched. I went down to Tallahassee, and I spoke to the fellas, and I told them about how against all odds, I've come back week after week after getting pile-driven, after getting fire thrown in my face, after getting hit with a chair, hit with a chain. And I looked out, Dave, and there were 300-pound linemen with tears in their eyes as I spoke. And they told me afterwards that they are so fired up that they're going to hit the field today and just crush North Carolina, baby. They are on their way back to #1 after my inspirational talk.
You went to Tallahassee and gave the Florida State #3-4 team in the country an inspirational talk, okay?
That's exactly right, Dave, and you're going to see a total turnaround in their play. They're going to score 100 points today, they promised me. And as a token of gratitude, as you can see right here, Clifton Abraham, the cornerback, who last week scored, I think, 4 touchdowns, gave me this workout shirt. It's a little bit big on me, but I'm working out, and I'll fill it out pretty soon. You can better believe that. And Derek Brooks, who recently came back from a suspension, gave me a Florida State starter jacket. Of course, I have sense enough not to wear a starter jacket here in this city because you get shot and somebody rip it off your back before you even knew what happened. But the greatest gift might just be right here. This Florida State football helmet that Uncle Bobby himself gave to me. He said, Scotty boy.
Can I see that?
Yeah, you can look at it. Hey, don't smudge it all up.
Well, it looks like it was painted with a spray can. That does not look like a legitimate Florida State football helmet to me.
Have you ever played football for Florida State?
I have not, neither have you.
Then shut up then. You don't know what their helmets are like, old man.
I tell you what I'm going to do. You and Florida State, good luck to Florida State. I'll reserve judgment on wishing you good luck.
Hey, look at this
and you can talk about all of this stuff, make it all up. Tell us about whatever dream you had. We're going to be back and get this show underway in just a moment. On the left of your screen, Reggie B. Fine, Ken Raper, his partner, as we get set for this first match today. Corey, I see the temperatures drop below 103 in most of the country, so Reggie brought that fur coat out of storage or wherever it is he's had it.
Oh, boy.
We're waiting for their opponent. I think maybe you can tell by the music who's headed this way for our opening match. We're waiting. There they are. We're waiting for PG-13.
Making their way around. JC and Sir Whoopi.
And what an opening match we got here today. USWA Tag Team Champions, PG-13, JC Ice and Wolfie D, have greeted the crowd. It's not a title match, Reggie.
And then, whoop, there it is. PG-13 is champion.
They're about ready to get this one going. Tag team match. It's a non-title match, even though they are the tag team champions. The belts are not at stake here today. Ken Raper, Reggie B. Fine, looking to do what they can, though, to get a victory. Reggie wandering around outside the ring, insulting the crowd and complaining about this and that. Meanwhile, looks like Ken Raper will be starting against Wolfie D.
Ready to go with that. Sir Wolfie D, PG-13. Started off against Ken Raper, and Raper not liking what the fans are chanting out there.
Reggie B. Fine is requesting quiet from the crowd. Yeah, he's going to be successful in that request. Ken Raper hanging close to the corner. He and Reggie encouraging each other. Reggie's especially encouraging because he's not in there. He's telling... He's
encouraging Raper to stay in there.
Yeah, he said, hey, you're doing just fine. You're doing great.
Whoopee! Starts around the ring. We're ready to go at tag team action here today on the USWA Championship Wrestling. What a day today, fans. And Raper again. Raper says he can't concentrate, you know, the fans screaming and yelling. May not be done today, though. Fans love PG-13. Whoopee-dee, the standing headlock. Raper backs him up, puts him into the rope. Shoulder from Whoopee. Takes down Ken Raper.
Boy, this PG-13 team, they really are terrific. They have great balance, great teamwork. They came in here, and we've talked about it many times before. They give away size to almost every team they face. Man, they really go, and they're the champions as a result.
Standing side headlock now from Ken Raper, and Raper looking for a tag from his partner, and Reggie B. Fine said, hey, this is taking care of business. Just go right ahead. You're welcome to do whatever you want to do in there. No tag for Raper, boy. Reggie B. Fine is telling them the fans had my attention over there. Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at Reggie. Reggie's saying, hey, come on for the tag. And then when Wolfie is going to bring Ken Raper over to help him make the tag, Reggie got a phone call, right? They're not respecting Reggie. Why? Any idea why? Oh, man, Reggie B. Fine. There he is. Meanwhile, you see the action behind him.
Wow, look at this.
Ken Raper's got Wolfie D over there, calling for some help. Reggie finally winds up and takes a swing and hits Ken Raper.
Oh, man. Hits Raper in there, and Ken Raper asking, what are you doing? I'm your partner, man. Reggie B. Fine nails Ken Raper. Oh, yeah, almost kiss and make up over there.
Yeah, well, that's what Reggie wants to do, but Ken says, you better pay attention to what's going on and do your part. You're not pulling your load here.
Raper backs him up, whips Wolfie in the end. Wolfie leaps over! Oh, nails Reggie B. Fine.